Samira Frasch is found dead at the bottom of her pool at the age of 38. The medical examiner's report confirms the worst fears. This was no accident.
It was blunt force trauma coupled with drowning.
She was hit in the head with some object, a fist, a golf club, we don't know. Fell and cracked her head on some hard, flat surface, possibly the pool deck. And then while she was still alive, suffering from a massive head injury, was put into the pool to drown.
Adam said Samira drank 2 bottles of champagne that night.
Does that jive with the medical examiner's report?
Not one bit.
What does the medical examiner say?
She had 0 alcohol in her system.
Adam also claims that he and Samira were back together again at the time of her death, a claim the prosecutor isn't buying.
You really kind of have to look at the big picture of the relationship and how she really was getting the upper hand as far as getting possession of the house, custody of the children, alimony. The tide had turned, and I think that was not acceptable to Mr. Frasch.
But in his testimony to police, Adam definitely had another suspect in mind, Gerald Gardner, the handyman who made the gruesome discovery.
We're not going to tell you everything we know.
I understand.
That's the best.
I could see the body or see what may have happened, or if there's foul play, or if Gerald did something, or they got in an altercation, or I don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Did you ever look at Gerald as a possible person of interest? Because you had to.
Well, it's natural in an investigation. You start really close. Who do they know? He found her there.
He found her.
You start first person to find her. What did you see? What did you do? Where have you been?
Adam even suggested that Samira was having an affair with Gerald.
Adam was the type that he believed anybody Samira had in contact with was having an affair with.
Gardner? No. Was she in an affair? No. I don't believe that at all.
I mean, it's just impossible to believe that someone else came in and killed this woman.
But prosecutors say Gerald had his own theory as well.
When law enforcement arrived, he told them he did it, he finally killed her, and he was referring to the defendant. So he immediately assumed that she'd been murdered by her husband.
As for motive, many believe Adam was worried that a sex tape featuring him and a girlfriend would give Samira valuable ammunition in divorce proceedings.
He provided some information in regards to a sex tape that Samira was trying to buy off of one of his girlfriends and confronted Adam with this.
You're telling me she was not angry that night because of a sex tape you made with an ex-girlfriend?
No. She had mentioned that earlier in the week. And she was saying that they were going to give her, or she had to pay them money to get this or something. And I was like, it didn't add up.
I believe that Adam Frasch killed Samira because when that day she received that DVD, she was so disappointed, hurt, enraged. And I tried to calm her down that night and said, Samira, you gotta keep calm. You cannot get upset with him because he's gonna become dangerous, because he's gonna feel like he is cornered.
I believe that she could have definitely pushed him too far.
Did you kill your wife?
No.
Was there an explosive fight and you put her in the pool and tried to cover up something that happened?
No.
But the medical examiner also deals a blow to the DA's case.
And what were you able to prove about Samira's time of death?
Nothing. I mean, we knew she was alive when she came through the gates and her last phone activity, and that was it. We knew she was killed sometime between then and 11 a.m. The medical examiner that actually examined the body in the case was not able to give a time of death because of the cold water in the pool, which affected the decomposition of the body to the extent that there was just no way to say when she went in.
And if that weren't enough, a neighbor states that he saw someone who looked very much like Samira in her driveway at 10:30 the morning of her death, hours after Adam had left with the kids.
He is adamant he sees a black female alive in this driveway because there's never been anybody at this house before. This is the house with all the cars. And I just think the neighbors got the wrong day.
Despite these obstacles, Assistant State's Attorney Georgia Kappelman makes her case to the grand jury to bring murder charges against Dr. Frasch. In a surprising twist, Adam makes a public plea, publishing this letter directly aimed at prosecutors with questions like, quote, "What evidence do you have that I have any reason to kill my wife?"
Why did you write the letter to the people of Tallahassee?
Just to explain, my innocence and that in the media, the way they were treating me and exposing all this, negative publicity and that.
Do you think he thought, I can talk my way out of this?
Absolutely. He testified to the grand jury, I think, believing he could talk his way out of it to the grand jury.
And what did you think about the letter he wrote to the public?
I came to know that it was in character for him.
I think he thought he could go into the grand jury and convince them he had nothing to do with it.
He was wrong. Dr. Frasch is charged with first-degree murder. Up next, a surprise witness takes the stand
He's a career snitch.
and shocks the courtroom.
They said he didn't mean to kill her. It just happened and he got scared and ran.